Hello everybody, this is John. I thought I'd do this episode on a pretty big topic that I get asked a lot about here at university, which is HIV/AIDS awareness. I guess I'll go through and I'll just list the questions and try and give as good an answer as I can. Can you contract HIV from kissing an infective, active host? It is possible, but extremely unlikely. Like, there's just not enough, I guess you could say, infected material in the mouth to infect someone. Like, they would have to be pouring blood from sores in their mouth, and you would have to have open sores in your mouth, and the blood would have to enter into your sores with active HIV infected cells for you to be infected. So technically, unless they're just bleeding all inside of you, then no, it's not going to happen. Okay, second question: how deadly is HIV/AIDS? That's an interesting question. HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, is actually it's the basic stage of AIDS. It's before AIDS becomes extremely deadly and dangerous and all that. To be very fair, if you were to catch HIV like in its extreme early stages and hit that bad boy with some antiviral medication, and you kept up with all your treatments, then you could very well live a completely normal life for the rest of your life. If you were to wait though until symptoms presented themselves, for example, you'd probably be in late stages of HIV, approaching AIDS, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which is characterized by extreme infections, fevers, fatigue, things like that. And it's actually caused because the AIDS virus itself doesn't kill you. What happens is opportunistic pathogens inside of your body begin to they see that there's no white blood cells around, and they just go nuts. It's like you walk down the street every day and you see this really cool TV that you really want, but there's cops everywhere, so you don't get it. So you're a good citizen. But if all the police were gone and there was nobody to say, hey, that's illegal, you shouldn't do that, wouldn't you grab that TV? Exactly. That's the way a lot of these opportunistic pathogens feel. And that's what they do when your body's immune system is weakened. So, how is HIV first contracted? Believe it or not, a lot of people actually believe that HIV was contracted from a man or a woman having sex with a chimpanzee in Africa or somewhere around there. And the consensus, I guess, being with this idea that they have simian immunodeficiency virus. They think that since we are so closely related to chimps and whatnot, that the virus just came right over and had no problems mutating because we're so similar. That's unlikely, because I don't know if you know, but other species don't usually have consensual sex with humans, so that's probably very unlikely. And if you tried to, I guess, rape a chimpanzee, it would probably tear your penis off. So no, that's probably not how it happened. In the scientific field, one big consensus is, however, that while humans were running around chasing after chimps and monkeys for their meat or whatever, which is common, they got cuts and things on their hands and arms and whatnot, and they had, wounds, and, scars are manly, of course, and especially in tribal society, it wouldn't be uncommon for someone to, maybe not be too careful with their gashes or wounds. And the consensus is, I guess, that while skinning or cleaning a chimp, the HIV virus infected blood washed over the wounds and naturally just went on in, mutated, did its thing, because, like I said, chimps and humans are extremely, extremely close as far as our genome goes. So that's the general consensus. Can you contract HIV from a toilet seat, shaking hands, somebody sneezing, coughing, etc.? A good rule of thumb is that all bodily fluids are infected with every sort of nasty thing you can imagine. But really the only way you can contract HIV would be through direct transfusion of blood, consumption of breast milk. A mother can spread it to her baby across the placenta through high-risk activities and through, of course, any kind of intercourse, with the exception of oral intercourse, with a few exceptions, I guess. So, no, you can shake their hands, they can sneeze around you, they can cough, you're not going to get HIV from that. And no, not from toilet seats. I mentioned high-risk activities. What are high-risk activities? Generally, that means having sex without a condom or having anal sex. The big thing about anal sex is that every time you have anal sex, there are micro fissures that form inside the anus. And a micro fissure, I'm sure you can imagine, just a tiny, tiny tear, but it does open up to the capillaries and the veins in the inside of the anus. And that would be a direct connection between HIV-infected semen and your bloodstream, which would infect you with the HIV virus. And like I said, when you really think high risk, you're thinking sex without a condom or anal sex. So, is it true that only gay and black people have HIV/AIDS? This is actually it's a widely believed concept, and it's almost shameful how prevalent this conception is. While homosexual men do represent a vast majority of all HIV/AIDS cases in the world, and I guess you could say black males represent a larger percentage than white males, it doesn't mean that only gays and black people have it. There is a fair percentage of Caucasian, Asian, Latino, straight, lesbian, whoever. Everyone has HIV and AIDS, okay? Just don't, be careful. Just be careful. Everyone has HIV and AIDS. And this big misconception actually stems back to before everyone thought, it's okay to be gay. Back in the day, when we still lived in, I guess you could say, the social dark ages, they were looking for any excuse they could to say homosexuality is a sin, it's evil, it's a pox on humanity, it's wicked, wicked, wicked. And of course, you could say during more racist times, people felt the same way about black people. Say, don't have sex with black men, they've got the syphilis, and they've got the AIDS, and they've got the HIV. But like I said, statistically speaking, homosexual men and bisexual men do represent a larger majority of AIDS and HIV cases, but that's not true about black people, I don't think. And you just need to be safe with everyone. Don't have unprotected sex unless you're in a committed relationship with someone and you want to have a baby. That's what would be the best idea. And it's very offensive and very narrow-minded and very ignorant to just assume that if someone's gay or African American, they have HIV or AIDS. That's very offensive and very narrow-minded. So be careful thinking that, and be careful ever saying that to someone. Why is HIV so common amongst homosexuals? Like I said earlier, it's because of, well, you could say the most common form of homosexual sex among males is anal sex. And that results in microfissures. And the thing is, the direct semen to blood infection is much more infectious than other forms of HIV spreading. So I guess you could say that's why it's so common. Okay, moving on. Well, actually, I guess that's it for this section. Okay, I'm going to name this video Intro and HIV/AIDS. Go ahead and send me any other questions you have. My email is neo2k2joe@yahoo.com. Go ahead and send me any questions you have about anything medical or biological or physical or chemical, any kind of questions, social, political, whatever. I don't care. Send me a line. Until then, be cool, guys.